Hello, hello. Welcome to CoMA Pirate Radio, where we as mystic pirates can slide our boats together in the water, in the oceans. We can throw each other ropes, tie some beautiful knots, and there we can talk about some maps. Now, this is an episode that I call The Map, which is different from Cosmic Dialogue and Story Time with Me. This is actually interviews with CoMA kids at CoMA. So here we are. I am speaking with the marvelous Maurva, who came in. It will be 13 days she has been at CoMA. Introducing Maurva. How are you? Introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Eve. Yes, I am officially a CoMA kid. I am from Texas. It's been an experience, and there's a lot of story of how it's all been going and how I got to here.
Yes, indeed. My first message was when you came, it was like this very strong smell that literally filled the whole house. And I was like, wow, what is this? I smell things very differently than most people because I've been doing a lot of magic with my senses. And it was like I really wanted to get closer. And yeah, and just like, man, like that instant connection when we look at each other face to face. It's like, oh my God, hey, how are you? Oh my God, it's been so long. Oh my God, what you been doing? You smell so familiar. You smell so familiar. Mm-hmm. Welcome to the space.
When I first came into the space, I felt welcome. So in order to get here, it is definitely a journey. It's not like it's right around the corner. And the driver that brought me to here, he explained that I was going to have a car massage, meaning that, there's really no road here. It's really nice that it's so just still full of nature. And
it's a bumpy ride.
It's definitely a bumpy ride. It's a bumpy ride.
And I pray, and I pray, and I pray that it will remain that way.
But it's worth it once you get here. And I got out of the car, and I saw Eve. She was there tending to the horses with her boots on and getting dirty. And I was like, dang. I'm going to like it here. Like, she's not doing anything, not doing the most. She's really just showing up authentically as herself, and it allowed me to feel really welcome. And then she gave me a hug, even though we were sweaty. She was really sweaty. I was sweaty from the ride, and she gave me a hug. And yes, I did feel that connection as well. Like, know her. Oh my God. Like, there was something there. Like, you sense it.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting how people have gotten so far away and repulsed by our smells, our sweat, our skin, our authenticity. Yeah, like I'm not gonna, there is that, like, putting on the carny face sometimes is nice if you want to put on a show. And it's so much fun, like, understanding and feeling that you are in it for life. You're a lifer. I feel that we're going to work together from here on out and forever.
Yes, I'm so excited for all the opportunities. Like,
what's your favorite activity that you do here at CoMA?
Favorite activity by far is the MTVs. I really enjoy the MTVs. The way Eve was explaining it is it's movement, vocal toning, synergy, like meditation, the whole aspect of just like vibration. And it's something that everyone could benefit from, of course, but it includes things like breath work, things like chanting like ohms, and just like lighting up your chakras, and like really just kind of just teaching you like how to access the other magic parts of yourself.
And the primal sounding too. And I really feel like it's developed into a practice of finding your own rhythm. And then I did the MTVs. It's called MTVs because obviously, I'm an 80s and 90s kid, so I want my MTV. And we do use, like, we're not just doing this with singing bowls, which I love that. I love the singing bowls and the ambient music and the shamanic music and the drumming, and yes, all of that, please. But we also throw in this MTV vibe of, let's go back to the songs that talk to us as kids and teenagers, and going through all of our Virgo feels, and let Mercury be the DJ and play whatever music wants to come on.
I do love that. I've never heard my voice the way how it's been sounding since I've been here. And with the vocal toning, like we did one night where instead of just like chanting, we actually like, she allowed us to do the sound, but like elevate it, drop it down low, like play with it. And I was like, I did it, and I all of a sudden like felt like, wow, one day I could be a singer.
Yeah.
Like, you literally, maybe this is how people learn. It felt really, really opening to like my whole like being was just like, everything was lit up.
Vocal toning is definitely like ear sex candy to me. Like, I just get in there and my ears just like, go through this whole vibration, energy, and motion.
Yes. Another thing that I like about this experience is that there's already community here. Like when I got here, there's two other CoMA kids, and they were very welcoming, and the energy feels super aligned. Like you're able to talk about the things that you're not able to talk about. A lot of us that are going through the spiritual journey are, isolating ourselves because, there's not a lot of people that understand or want to hear what you have to say or can hear what you have to say.
Understand what the fuck you talking about, girl?
These 13 days have been so illuminating because not only have I been able to share things that I've been thinking about, but I can also hear other perspectives, and it's just like lighting up other parts of my brain that haven't even been touched. It's super expansive. So that's another thing that I really enjoyed about this experience. There's the way how it's set up. There's so much intention put into all the little pockets of your day. And I've been here for 13 days, but it feels like I've been here for like 2 days. Like the time goes by very differently. Like
it does.
And I don't want to leave. I don't want to go home. I'm just saying.
Definitely have heard from many other CoMA kids about the time warp that we have created in the portal, and that's, it's just what happens when you do a lot of magic in portals, because you have to start time slipping and then time gets crazy. But going back to the pirate ropes, energetically we are able to tie ropes and build this net, this energy mycelium that is available for us to support each other and grow a community that is like the mycelium in the trees, is that we can be in different locations sometimes, and that's okay. And then we can come together and breathe, and that's great. And then there might be a separation again, and having spaces that we can bounce feels good and meet each other.
It does. It really does. And I definitely do plan on coming back. I am a CoMA kid for life now. Like when you're asking the universe for an opportunity to be with aligned people, to do work that you care about, to do things that don't feel like work, like all of that is here. And the spiritual work that you do, the rewards that you get from just like the whole vibration of this place is alive. I'm just saying, it's not just Eve. This place has its own personality.
I swear, you guys, I'm telling the truth, man. I ain't just doing it because it looks good. I swear I'm not a poser. I promise.
She is alive, and she takes good care of the people that come through. So.
She can be heavy, though. I really know and feel how heavy it can be. And it takes, definitely, it's not for everybody. It takes a certain unique vibration to be able to hold on to this kind of high, I don't want to overuse the word vibration, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And so much about timing and when to navigate, when you hold on to something that you feel like there's a lot more potential in something, right? Oh my God, we were just talking about resources and stuff. It just multidimensionally, it taps into stay where you still feel like you can gain until it's time to bounce. And then knowing the migration of being able to come back to those points that give you vibration. So you're constantly going in little gas stations. Energetically.
Cool. That makes a lot of sense, because I'm thinking about, bringing my life here to Costa Rica and thinking about the people that are back home in Texas that may want me to stay, but I know that my growth is not going to continue growing there. In order to grow, I do need to expand. And what better place than Costa Rica to expand in, especially, since you don't know, but my guides have been guiding me here since 2021, and I didn't answer the call in 2021, and it presented itself again less than a month ago, and I hurried up and answered this time. And so, I feel like this is destined for me to be here, and I'm grateful that my first opportunity to even touch down and be here on this land was in a healing, meditative space that allowed me to come back within and allowed me to also observe other people that are like-minded, like myself, going through their own things. No one's perfect.
Yeah.
And just feel like completely safe. And this place is worth, I'm not going to put money on it, but it's worth a lot for the experience, the internal experience that you would have, the growth that you'll get in just a short amount of time. Even if I was just here for 5 days.
Yes.
It's
fun and interesting and important to dive into this aspect too of portals and how, you can just jump through them and still feel and gain so much love and so much energy. So what we do as Fae in the jungle is we create little portals that we jump through all in line, you know what I mean? The witches' ceremonies and I really feel like the amount of people that will be here will stay rather small. But I see a future with CoMA with you. I do. I feel your energy all wrapped up in it. And I think that was I really tuned my ears to it. The reason why you smelled so strong when you came in, it was just oh, she's here. She's here. She's here. For real. And the heartfelt hugs, I know, have tied very strong knots.
Yes.
So tell me about a Sophie adventure that you have been on.
Many Sophie adventures. The fact that Sophie is here allows you to tap into your inner child. So she has the most electrifying personality, and she's so smart and so wise.
Electric.
Yes. And when I say electric, I literally mean like electric. Like, she is loud and flamboyant, and everything that she says is like, it's like when you go to a mall and you want to go get some shoes, and there's a salesman right there, and he's like, "Sir, your foot would look glorious in this shoe." Sophie's like that. And you stop and you purchase that shoe when you intended to go get something else. She's like that little distraction that will make you want to stop and hear what she has to say. She's taken me on several little hikes. She's taught me about the wild, and I keep thanking her. I'm always like, thank you so much for showing me. Thank you for telling me. She took me up the mountain. She's like, I don't know if we should go that far. We need to watch out. I watch how Sophie walks and how mindful her little steps. She's like, I'm going to leave my shoes at home. I'm like, really? She's taught me that it's okay to leave your shoes at home and just step on the earth, but be mindful of where you step.
Yes.
Respect that there are things that you can step on that might hurt you. Remember to be paying attention. Such a young person with so much knowledge. Like, I'm glad that she's a part of this place.
Well, she has grown up with these jungle kids. Like, I really kind of esoterically, like, dumped her off the ship into the water, you know, like, hey, swim, little kid. Those are the kids. Go play with them. And, I mean, because she was so young and because she, like, has grown up with them, and they are of the jungle. They are people that have lived, like, the jungle is just now starting to be changed and tamed, but the family that she's playing with have generationally been living in the wild with no paved roads and rivers that you can't cross, and, you know, stores that aren't stocked with shit all the time, and, you know, just walking to the store and getting just what you need, like, just until just very, very recently has things changed for these people. And I'm so grateful that, I was able to do that for Sophie. I was like, here, go play with the kids, man. And she has learned a lot from them.
She's fluent in Spanish. Fluent. She sings in Spanish. Like, her by herself imagination thoughts are in Spanish. I'm like, wow. Can you teach me how to say words?
I know. She's shy about being the translator.
I do know how to say stones. It's piernas.
Piernas.
She taught me that.
Yeah, little stones.
Yeah.
Shall we talk about the triggering aspect? Do you feel like there's any information that you particularly want to give about being in a space where the mother is not maybe that feminine, soft, quiet, like something?
Well, you're saying the word, so...
What do you feel?
So what I feel being in the dynamic, this is also home. So when I see the dynamic between mother and daughter, and being in the space of the spiritual retreat as well, it's like the magic that you would want, because you could be off in one room meditating, but you're hearing the dynamics of family happening in the other room. And as a child, you may have heard this growing up, and it may be something that created trauma for you.
Yeah.
But as an adult, you can hear this on the flip side and really pay attention to what's happening and hear what needs need to be met by each person. Break it down. And this is all happening inside yourself. You don't have to come and be...
Yeah, no, nobody wants to be invading on people's spaces.
You don't have to come to say anything to anyone. You can just process these things and allow yourself to heal those parts of yourself, because deep down inside, when there's, words that are more elevated, it's more so about a need being met. Someone's need, and either the person who's doing it or the person who's responding, there's needs that need to be met. So I can hear it, and I can understand, and I can connect, and I can send all of that love to myself. I can also feel how it feels in my body. And for some odd reason, I've gone through this recently in my own real life, away from here, back in Texas, where my son, this is just an example, my son, he has an explosive relationship with his son. He's only 4 years old. My son is an adult. When they interact, my grandson will get really don't tell me what to do, a lot of things that we would call disrespect, coming from an older school. And my son, sometimes he'll go back and forth with my grandson. And I've watched myself watching them, and a lot of times I want to just go home. I don't want to be around it. There's times where I can't just escape and go home, so I've had to sit through it. Internally, I'll cry. I'll go to the next room and cry. This is how I've been processing it. So being able to be here in a different dynamic that's not so close to me, it helped me to really just separate and really, my son wants the peace. My grandson wants the attention. And it's just two neutral things. There's nothing that needs to actually be done, but it's just two things that need to be expressed. Once they're expressed, then we go to the next moment, and they're having fun again. My son and grandson, they're having fun again, but these moments have to happen in order for us to flex those kinds of muscles. So being able to witness it here in this dynamic is really very healing to me. It's helping me to I don't have to be worried that, my grandson's going to be ruined for the rest of his life because my son's screaming back and forth at him. This is just a dynamic, and it is energy that is going to pass. And they usually figure out a different dynamic of how to really relate to each other.
Definitely, I've learned, it takes a lot of practice, of course, everything. And one thing that I have really felt the truth in with Sophie and I's personal dynamic is that sometimes we're loud. And growing up, I've always been told, Eve, shh, you're being too loud. For real. And I'm you know what? I just want to be out far enough that I can be loud. Because I am loud. And I feel Sophie's the same way. And then we just escalate and we get loud. But yeah, it is. I have found that it's very important for Sophie and I to not have any or too many disruptions while we're going through our process.
Right.
We want to be focused on each other and then do our thing, figure it out, and then we laugh about it. And you saw the other night, even we were dancing in a circle, but she got her way. She didn't do school. Which is where most all of this comes from, is that I have demanded she will learn how to read and write. That is just how it is. And she doesn't want to. Oh, she don't want to learn.
You think she doesn't, but when we were walking yesterday, we were halfway to here, and she started saying some words, and then she said, my mom teaches me these things. I have to understand how to do this and this. You're doing it right.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
She's I haven't been to real school. She's I didn't even go to kindergarten. I have to go to that. Yeah.
Yeah, we do make it as fun as possible. And I also wanted to say too, this particular few months, I have also been tapping more and more into how even the animals around us at CoMA will be loud The dogs barking mainly. When the dogs bark, I tend to want to also get loud. The roosters, if the roosters are crowing, I want to fucking crow back. If I hear a lot of birds, I want to like whistle back. I want to sing really, really loud whenever I want to. You know, being loud is so important for us to be heard. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. It's so true. The monkeys too around here. They get really loud. And no one's saying, like, we need to be quiet and be mindful of other people around us.
Shh, monkey! Would you stop your screaming?
Don't get
well,
loud.
The dogs, yes. The dogs, I have been there. I have been there so many nights where I just rage at the dogs out in the jungle. Shut the fuck up, you know, like, would you stop barking at nothing? But again, with the swing and the experience of CoMA, how we experience all these different perspectives all at once, and we talk about them, and we're like, hey, look at this perspective. Yep, look at this perspective. And yeah, I really, really, really appreciate the magnetism that we are able to strengthen our vibration enough to magnetize with each other and be like, hey, I found you. Yes. You found me. What is your plan? What does your future, most recent future look like? How far into the future have you looked?
If I'm creating my life and designing my life, my future looks like I go back home, I settle up my things and bring my cats back to Costa Rica, and we move here and we begin our lives here in Costa Rica. We can help out where help is needed.
Particularly here at CoMA.
Especially here at CoMA. That, and we get to hike around the jungle. We get us a bike. We find where the yoga classes are. We join the community. We find where the libraries, where the bibliotheques, where all the things
where all
are.
That is.
Yeah, that's if I'm creating my life, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
And thankfully there's video chat so I can keep in touch with people at home. So, yeah.
Amazing. This is definitely a PowerPoint to tap into a lot of energy. There is also, of course, this side of me that as we shine our lights. Oh my God, have you seen Trolls?
Mm-hmm. It's hard to move.
Very much I don't know all their names, but the gray one. And he's like, Poppy wants to throw that party, and he's like, everybody's gonna fucking hear you. You're gonna be seen. Don't be that bright. Don't be that loud. Don't be that bright. Don't be that loud. So deep in me is like, we need to be covered and hidden, but seen and heard, and covered and hidden, but seen and heard. And CoMA Pirate Radio is definitely a place that I want to have the beacon of light. But as far as coming into wild places for whatever time period, whether it's a couple of days or whether it's a couple of months or whether it's, hey, I want to move into this area, CoMA personally just wants to also teach and inform about how you can do it in a way that's not disrupting the ecosystem. More people are moving in, and the roads are being paved. There's more restaurants, and there's more shopping malls and stuff like that, and really being mindful that, okay, I'm moving into, but I also, and it's not like the people that are moving in are actually the ones that are changing it. It's really the developers and the government kind of that's like, okay, these places, there's more people, they're buying more. But if we as a community can come into a space and say, actually, no, We don't want the road paved right here. We don't want a bridge right here. We want to walk to the store. We want to care about our carbon footprint because we are also environmentalists, and we are not going to just move into an area and just blase and be excited about the new restaurant around the corner. Tell me, if you will, please, about your internal journey of all of those thoughts and emotions.
My internal journey of all of those thoughts, it starts off with, as people, as humans, we've been exploring this globe that we're all on. And in order for us to find things, we explore, like we follow our curiosity, and it takes us here and there. And it's good that Mother Nature doesn't stop us. We as each other will stop each other. We'll create borders and things, but Mother Nature is open, and she allows us to move about the world as we want.
Please.
So that's the beginning thought.
Mm-hmm.
The next thought is that I do understand about change and how uncomfortable change is, and in order for us to get to anywhere, we've all had to change. There's always been some change. I do think mindfulness is important, though. Like when you're making change, if you can foresee like the future, like when people are predicting homes for like weather resistance, they're thinking years and years and years down the road. So if you use your sight like that to think, how can I do my moving about this globe sustainably where I'm not, creating so many butterfly effects. I'm really
tourism.
I'm really being mindful. Like that, like tapping into that part of it, not just going places and treating it like it's an amusement park or a circus. Like it's an actual home to not just people, but creatures.
Yes.
Like tons of creatures that have even yet to be discovered.
The unseen beings.
Yeah. It brings me just to a matter of respect, and I definitely see what you're doing here and see where your heart is and how passionate you feel about making sure that things are sustainable. So I agree. I do agree with keeping things as sustainable as you can while also being as open as you can, and to really remember that Mother Nature's going to take care of herself no matter what. If we look around the news, which is not a great idea, but
I don't like doing that.
if we don't have to even look at the news, just talk to whoever's next to you. They're going to tell you what's important for you to hear.
Yeah.
And if you hear those things, then you think about it and you're like, oh, Mother Nature is creating these issues to clear this energy to bring in new. Like it has to be balanced. It sounds terrible, but in order to see the goodness, we have to feel the pain. We can't have it any other way based on universal laws.
Yeah.
And plus it would be pretty boring if everything was always hunky-dory.
Hunky-dory.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
We need some contrast.
Can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for being so brave and so daring and not afraid of the dark and not afraid of the blinding light and welcoming. I mean, yes, you came into CoMA, yes, but you also welcomed CoMA into you. And I just want to say thank you so much, and we will for sure do another podcast later.
Yeah. I'm excited about that. If we're plugging any socials, follow me at Marvelous Maurva.
All the links.
I'm on TikTok. I am on YouTube. I also have a website, marvelousmaurvadesigns.com, where I have some blog posts that are very, very inspirational. And I'm also definitely helping with CoMA Clubhouse, so that's another place on TikTok that you want to.
She is the queen of the CoMA Kid Clubhouse on TikTok. Yes. So if you message, you will reach her. Thank you so much.
I'm very happy and honored to assist.
Yes.
Period.
And thank you guys for listening. Please, if you want to contribute, there's a Patreon account, links below. There's books you can read if you want to, read my journals. I don't know. There is all kinds of links out there to all kinds of places. Thank you so much. Whether you are traveling physically or mentally, may it be in love and light and shadow. And don't forget the lube when you need to get through the tight spots. And don't forget the wax when you need to hold on to those ropes and set sail. Thank you so much. Ciao.